So we are at SFO right now, and we just got here. Our friends gave us a ride, and we are about to check in.
Welcome back to the channel.
If you're new here, I'm Max.
I'm Marin.
And we're Voyager Group. We post weekly videos with travel tips, hotel reviews, and videos from some of our favorite destinations around the world. So if you don't already, consider subscribing.
And if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up.
Alright, so today is actually our first trip since COVID-19.
And we're excited and a little bit anxious to take a plane, but we're going down to the Dominican.
As you saw in the first clip, we're in the airport on our way to the Dominican, and it's going to be quite the adventure from here.
But flashback a couple of hours, and we just wanted to give you some of our tips for getting on a plane during COVID-19.
Yeah, we've done everything that we can to really make sure that we prepared both to keep ourselves safe and everyone else safe. And to give you a little bit of information about the DR, right now, their cases are relatively low.
And today is July 3rd, so we're going down for 1 month starting the 4th of July.
We made sure that we have enough time in each place to give us a comfortable amount of time to make sure we adjust, particularly after this flight. So our first stop is actually going to be in Cabarete for 2 weeks. And we've rented a car while we're down there, so we have to interact with as little people as possible.
And our apartment has a kitchen, and we have a beach right outside, so we'll be all set to self-isolate. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we're bringing on the plane to prepare. First thing that we're doing is making sure we're protected on our bodies and our faces. So, for example, we're both wearing glasses just to protect our eyes. We will, of course, have our handy dandy masks, which we have plenty of, and we're also going to be wearing hats, just in case.
We also have quite the collection of masks. Our main mask is one that we got from Tailored Industries. It's not sponsored. We bought it because it seemed like the best mask that we could find. It's comfortable, and it also has a nice slip in the front area so that you can fit filters in. These filters have carbon in them. No, it doesn't quite make them an N95, but it is better than just wearing a traditional cloth mask.
And you can buy them on Amazon. They're super reasonable. It's about $13 for a pack of 10. Just in our carry-on alone, we have about 10 ounces of hand sanitizer with us. And in our check bag, we also have 2 large bottles of hand sanitizer with us to make sure we don't run out over the trip. Lastly, we also are huge fans of wiping down literally every surface, and at home we do it with our groceries. On the plane, we'll do it with our seats, the tray tables, and everything else that we touch.
And to be honest with you, that's something that started a long time before COVID-19. Planes are not a clean place. So in general, wiping down your seat when you come in, you might be that one person on the plane that everybody looks at, but you're also the one that's not going to get sick.
And ladies, I'm gonna have my hair in a braid just to keep it off my face and to stop the temptation of touching my face all the time. Another really important thing to bring up here is that we chose to fly Delta long before COVID happened. We got a great deal to the Dominican, but I'm really glad today that we're flying Delta. It is truly the only airline in the US that we trust, and no, Delta's not sponsoring us. Hashtag Delta, please sponsor us. But they are following the promises that they made about blocking middle seats and keeping 60% occupancy on the flights.
Yeah, in general, if you fly Delta, you'll know that they do tend to go above and beyond. They've really stepped up their game in the last few years of trying to provide as many amenities and really nice kind of comfort features on their flights as possible. And even during this time of COVID-19 where all airlines are struggling, they've had to cut staff, they've had to cut multiple lines, they have planes that are sitting on tarmacs without that they're just paying for, they're losing millions of dollars a day. They've still stuck to keeping deadlines and that they're going to block middle seats, that they're going to keep low occupancy on planes, and they've done a whole bunch of things from emailing us, I'd say about 15 times, to just tell us all the things and all the precautions that they're taking. So we really feel a lot better about taking Delta than we would one of the other American airlines.
They also require you to wear masks from the moment you check in at the flight and all the way through your destination, which we really appreciate. Where we live in California, that is a law. However, we recognize that that's not the case everywhere.
Now that said, we haven't taken the flight yet,
Nope.
So here we go. It is completely empty.
Completely empty.
There's literally no one at the San Francisco airport. Actually, fingers crossed, that's kind of a positive thing. We're super pumped about it. We have an overnight flight, and then we're headed to Atlanta. So, here we go.
Here we go.
Hello? Hello? just got through security and we're walking through right now. We just tried their little hand sanitizer that they have on the other side. I swear to God, it's like straight vodka or tequila or something. It like, I smelled
Burned
it.
the eyeballs.
And it just like my whole nostrils and everything. I think it's the strongest hand sanitizer I've had. Anyway, the airport is super empty and really like, I don't know, this is almost more socially distant than any trip.
I mean,
that
it's
we've
much
had
better
to
than the
take outside
grocery
of store shopping or anything.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, this
so
is
far,
D-Gate. We're going the wrong way.
we're going the wrong way. So far, everything's been super positive. One small snafu we had.
Yes, our ticket was changed so many times on Delta. So I think because of that, we were incorrectly charged for our luggage despite flying internationally. So just something to keep in mind if you are booking flights and stuff. You can always dispute it. They give you a phone number to call. Just bring it up.
Yeah, and always check, right? Like whenever you're flying anywhere, like different airlines have different policies, but in general, international flights always have at least one free checked bag per person, up to 50 pounds, usually up to 70 pounds if you're in first class. Some airlines even have 2 bags in first class, up to 70 pounds. So always check, but for sure, your first, like whichever international leg you have, even if you're starting from a domestic location and taking a domestic flight, you should still be credited with that international flight. So in the case of this, they didn't see that, and it probably has to do with the coding on our ticket. It changed so many times. I'm actually not surprised, but we'll resolve it with support later. It's just kind of a pain. Definitely boarding is where things seem to break down a little bit. There haven't been a lot of announcements, but people seem to be good aboard still, which is crazy even in these times that people are so eager to get on the plane.
Yeah, there's not a lot of social distancing going on in the boarding process right now.
Yeah, it's definitely lacking that.
Yeah, our recommendation is to board as slowly as possible and towards the end if you can.
Yeah, quick pro tip, the plane, actually, it doesn't matter when you get on the plane, it all goes to the same destination. Really important thing to know. You heard it here first. In our seats, we got super lucky. We got upgraded to first class seats, so this leg of the plane ride is going to be the easiest. Luckily, it's also the one that's overnight, so we're going to get to sit in the front of the plane a little bit more socially distanced than others. Quick tip, when we booked online, because we knew that they were blocking seats, we booked the seats across the aisle from each other, and it actually automatically booked the seat next to it. So even though we're going to sit together anyway, it kind of made it so that we could scatter away from other people. You might not always be able to do that, but it did work for this particular plane ride, so we took advantage of the online booking system with seeing it. It didn't really matter because we were choosing seats today at check-in, so it was the amount of people that had already booked.
And when we got on the plane, they handed us little mini packets of Purell, which is awesome. You can wipe down your feet, and the seats are super clean already because they do a lot of that cleaning before we get off. By the way, another pro tip on Delta, if you have T-Mobile, you can use the internet for free. It's sweet. And all passengers have access to free messaging like texting, iMessage, things like that. It's awesome.
So,
to you all, good night.
All good night, and we will see you tomorrow morning in Atlanta. Alright, we have landed in Atlanta.
And there are a lot more people.
It is friggin' packed in here. There are significantly more people than there is today. The good news is, pretty much every single person is consistently wearing a mask, with the exception of a few loaders that have their masks pulled down, walking around, which I guess is kind of the new reality. There's always people like that, but
we're gonna try and find a Delta lounge that's open, hopefully get some coffee, because we didn't serve that on the plane, and just relax for a few hours before our flight.
a couple notes about the flight before we forget to tell you. One thing that was pretty important was it was super cold for an overnight flight, just because a couple things have been removed from service. Obviously, as we mentioned, a lot of the food and beverage has been removed. They did give us a nice little snack, but there weren't any blankets, there weren't any pillows. That did make the flight slightly less comfortable. we would get to do this the entire trip.
Oh my
but
God.
We are maskless right now, which is absolutely amazing. We're in the Delta Lounge, and
it's in the F concourse.
yeah, Delta Lounge in the F concourse. It's the International Delta Lounge, and they have outdoor space.
Amazing.
Massive outdoor space, and
It's incredible.
yeah,
I'm
it's
so
like
happy.
the first time that we have been like completely, there's like no people. On this particular flight, we do have first class tickets, so we would have gotten access to it because we randomly got upgraded for some reason. But normally we also still could have accessed this Delta Lounge because of our Amex Platinum card. So Amex Platinum, put a link in the description below. It's one of the cards that we highly recommend, not as a great points card, but as a really great rewards card. Also link an article that we have. We've written about that, and specifically why we like the Amex Platinum over the Chase Reserve, but also still have the Chase Reserve for a number of reasons. You can go check that out.
They have scaled back a lot of their food and beverage offerings during COVID, but we got warm oatmeal, which was very unexpected, and they also had some sandwiches, as well as coffee, tea, and hard beverages as well.
Yeah, I actually thought they had a remarkable amount of food, but it's all individual food. It's all sealed. They had various different cereals. They had sandwiches in little bags, and they had a great new dispenser for their utensils that was, I think, the most efficient dispenser I've ever seen, where like you literally could not touch anybody else's utensil.
So Atlanta is a little bit different from San Francisco. There are a lot more people in this terminal right now who are not wearing masks, and we are trying to stay as far away as possible from them.
This next leg of the flight is going to be a little bit more interesting because we are not in business class for this leg. We got super lucky and got upgraded on the first leg, which was really nice because it was overnight, and we got to sleep and be comfortable. Next leg, we're going to be in economy, and you know, your fingers crossed.
It's about a 4-hour flight down to Punta Cana, and we are excited to get there, and we'll keep you posted on how the flight goes.
Our idea is that if we can minimize taking our mask off as much as possible, and luckily we have super comfortable masks, that will hopefully help us minimize our risk and also obviously the risk of other people around us. Hopefully we get down to Punta Cana safe.
And hit the beach.
Yeah, first thing we're doing is jumping in the water and cleaning off this COVID. Different experience for sure than the last flight. We are in a pretty decently spaced out area, which is okay, but one thing we will say for sure is that
The flight attendants do not care at all about following the rules on this flight.
alright, we just landed in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah!
Now we're gonna go through immigration, and honestly, again, not that many people, so I think this will go pretty quick. Alright, well we got our bags in like
First bag's out.
yeah, like 2 minutes, so that's freaking awesome. Alright, I guess now we gotta go get our car.
So we got out of the airport, customs form, no problem, no temperature checks or anything.
So the amount of forms you had to fill out with health forms and stuff was insane. We're gonna go find Avis, which is where we're renting our car from, and we'll have the car for the entire month, so we're super excited to have that. You know, just have to interact with less people having our own car. Man, it is a walk.
We are in our rental car. We rented a little economy vehicle by Avis. The nice thing about Avis is that pretty much all the fees and everything are included when you're booking the car. And we've had some terrible experiences with other companies in different countries being charged like thousands of dollars, we've heard from other people. In our case, $300 for extra insurance and stuff that they pile on. But Avis is pretty awesome with that.
Make sure in the link in the description below to check out our video that we have all about rental cars and exactly what you should look for in a rental car's policies so that when you get there, you don't get charged a whole bunch of extra money.
So now we are on our way up to Cabarete. It's about a 5-hour drive. We might try and swing by a beach on our way up. We'll see what happens.
And God, does it feel good to be mask-free. Finally.
We are about halfway through our drive and we're rushing to try to get to the beach for sunset. We have no idea if we'll make it, but it's worth the effort.
So close.
We're so close.
That'll be the final completion to this journey.
So hopefully we'll make it and maybe see a beautiful sunset.
We made it to a beach.
Not the beach we're supposed to be at, but a beach. Sun is setting and it's
We
beautiful.
still have a couple more hours to go before we actually get to our apartment, but we did make it to a beach, which we thought we'd share with you. So this concludes our amazing journey, which has been long, and feels really good to not be wearing a mask. There's obviously no people anywhere around us. Anyway, here we are all by ourselves right now. A couple things, I guess we'll just do a quick recap. All in all, the flight was pretty good.
Yeah, Delta did a great job making sure everyone was trying to social distance, everyone was wearing masks, and the services were pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for the most part, we were pretty impressed. Most people were wearing masks. I would say that definitely the Atlanta leg of the flight was probably the one area where it wasn't quite as strict or as good as I would say the San Francisco to Atlanta flight was. The Atlanta down to here was probably a little less good. But all in all, you know, it was a really good experience. But one thing we've been super impressed with is now that we're in the Dominican, everyone's wearing a mask. And
kids, rural people in tiny towns, like people on bicycles in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's been really impressive. All the gas stations, the gas station attendants, the toll booths, everywhere people are wearing masks. And so, you know, again, if there's not enough of a PSA out there, not enough of a PSA out there already, wear a mask, not just for your safety, it's for other people's safety. Even if you don't think a mask is going to protect you, there's a really high probability that it'll help protect somebody else. So we don't want to preach, that's not what our channel's about, but what we do want to do is bring you to beautiful places.
So we're here in the Dominican Republic. We'll be here for a month, maybe more, depending on how things go. But we hope you stick around for our adventures. Please ask us any questions you have about our flight, our journey, all it took to get here today in the comments below.
Yeah, and we'll be posting lots of new videos, lots of new content on both our Instagram, our YouTube, and our new website, which actually just launched. So go check that out. We've linked it in the description below. That's voyagerguru.com. Go check it out. And if you don't already, be sure to subscribe. And if you liked this video and found it useful,
make sure to give us a thumbs up.
We really appreciate it. It means a lot. Again, as Maren said, ask any questions you have down in the comments below. Hopefully you can actually hear our audio right now. That would be great. On the end screen, we've listed a bunch of our videos from the Dominican and other places down in the Caribbean. Go check them out.
And as always, I'm Maren.
And I'm Max.
And we're Voyager Guru. See you out there.